Nice fountain. Actually, the fountain's out in the water. It's anchored in the just off the railing. Peace Fountain, they call it. There it is. Probably couldn't see it, but and I think they light it up at night. It's pretty cool. It's a good-sized park. Funny story. I brought my dog Buddy there one time, and I noticed that there was not one other dog in the whole park. No one was walking their dog, and it wasn't that busy, but still, though, that's kind of odd, I thought. And so as we're leaving the park, I see a sign, no dogs allowed. I was wondering why people were giving me these dirty looks. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And you know why at one time they were allowed, but people were not picking up their dog shit, and little kids would be running around and playing in the grass, and guess what? They'd step into the shit. And everyone else would be stepping in the dog shit, and then the city said, fuck it. We're getting all these complaints. People don't want to be responsible. No dogs. I always pick up my dog's shit unless he shits like in the middle of the bush, which he has a tendency to do sometimes, and I can't pick it up. Other than that, I do pick up his crap. A lot of nice homes along here. Here you're getting into Riverside now. A lot of nice homes, older and newer, on Riverside Drive here. This is a fairly wealthy area of the city. I grew up here, but we were not rich. There's also side streets off Riverside Drive that are mostly like middle class. To live on the drive back in the day, you were considered wealthy. Pay a lot more tax, especially on the riverside of the drive along the water. It's fairly high property tax. A guy I went to school with, he lived along the drive, and his father, they owned a construction company. Not a huge company, but they did okay. They had a decent house. It's older, but they used to make a hockey rink every year on the front yard. Nice people. I met his mother. I met. They were going out someday when we were there. Very laid back woman. Very nice. They weren't wealthy people that kind of put on airs, as I said. They didn't think they were better than everyone else, like some rich people are. So this is getting down to. You can see at the end of Belle Isle over there, the eastern end of it. And yeah, well then, I don't know if any Americans out there have ever been in your younger days to A-Bars. Was on the left there. Now they tore it down. Matty Maroon actually owned the property. He was the last owner. And because some people said that he had thoughts of building a bridge across here, as hard as it is to believe. And he didn't, obviously. And A-Bar's the bar. He owned the property, and then he leased the bar on the property. And it was falling apart, getting in bad repair, and the city inspected it, said, well, you have to do this. And the guy said, well, it's not my building. I lease it. It should be up to the owner, which I agree with. But Matty Maroon did not want to put any money into it, and so they condemned the building. Which apparently was his plan in the first place. I think to this day it's his property. They were hoping he would kind of hand over the property to the city as a nice gesture, and they'd make it into a park, but I think the Maroon family still owns it, and it's just, grass basically. Nice location right on the water, but there's There's nothing there, though. Yeah, a lot of apartments along this stretch here between Lausanne and Riverdale, the street we're coming up to next. They put these humps in the road here. They're kind of, sort of take you by surprise. There, traffic calming. And to the left, if you see a lighthouse, if I catch it on the camera there, I don't know if it will, but anyway, that's Lakeview Park Marina, the city marina. I'm not sure if it's open yet. Someone said it wasn't. Well, definitely, oh yeah, people are launching their boats. They said it wasn't open, but they had to build up the docks because the water level was getting so high. It was like flooding the docks, so they raised them. Italy's, it's a bar that's a restaurant bar that's there. City leases the property. It's kind of funny, a city-owned building that's a bar or restaurant, and they lease it out to the business that runs it, the restaurant bar. It's different. This large brick building here used to be that's another stone place over there just before it. Used to be a grain storage, I believe, and I think they also made beer there. I think they were a brewer. I don't know, and I think they had something to do with making shit to supply the States during Prohibition. There's a lot of that went on big time, mega cash money, mega. There's so much money in this area during Prohibition, it's not funny. There's a teacher I had in high school, this is going back to the 77, 78, grade 9, and he said when he was a kid, now this guy would have been like about, I don't know, 60, I think he was close to retirement at that time, but when he was a kid, little boy, Prohibition, he said he got paid like $20 for like loading bottles into a boat or whatever. Can you imagine at that age you're just a kid and $20 back then? Fuck, it could have been like frickin' 1,000 now, who knows, like equivalent. But there was so much cash going around. Here, kid, $20. Like it was nothing, like it was a penny. It was nothing. There were more bars by far when it was illegal in Detroit than it was when it was legal. And then after Prohibition, when it was legal. The cops, fuck, they're just paying off the cops. Everyone was getting paid off. Yeah, there was all kinds of booze crossing. Even in the wintertime, they would drive across with cars loaded up with booze. When it wasn't winter, they would use boats, of course. Peche Island is a Canadian island, not that far from where I just passed, across from the marina there. And they used to store it there, and no one could do anything about it. It was perfectly legal because we did not have Prohibition in Canada, and it was stored in Canadian territory. And they would sneak the stuff out, probably with the police paid off, of course. Who knows? They probably freaking helped them fucking bring it across. And they used to, someone from the States would come over in a boat and they'd load them up. You know, obviously people knew what the fuck was going on. There's no secret. Simply Swimwear. This place has always been some type of a nautical shop. Looks like it's a bathing suit place now. So now we're into Tecumseh. We came into it before the light back there, but town of Tecumseh, which is the first town east of Windsor. The town itself, the population, it's much larger than Essex. It's probably about, if I could take a guess, 25,000, I would say, probably. It's got to be up there anyway. This keeps growing and developing. It's a nice town. It's a desirable place for people to raise their kids and shit. It's safe. Nice. It's not too, there's not really any bad areas per se. 3:30. I'm not doing too bad actually. I just want to avoid this expressway in Windsor. It's like a highway in the city. It's drive highway speed. The only problem now, they're down to one lane in sections, and I went down there last week and it's just congested as hell. It's like stop and go, stop. Slowly moving. So I thought I'd take Riverside Drive. It's funny how Riverside Drive changes names to Sandwich in Windsor, in the same city, but does not change names when you go into Tecumseh.